What happens when your customer site goes down at 2 a.m.? And even worse, you're a small or even one man show MSP. Are you picking up the phone? Are they getting the help that they need? Or did they just lose all of the confidence in your ability to deliver 24/7 support? In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips, some tricks, and things that you can do in your MSP to provide the best possible service to your clients so that way they never look to go somewhere else. How are you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow by teaching you how to sell your services so you can charge more money, teaching you how to generate an unlimited number of leads into your business, and also, as time goes on, help guide you through the process. If you'd like to learn more, head over to growth-generators.com. There's a ton of stuff in here. If you're a brand new MSP, we have the Launchpad. If you're an MSP, if you're looking for, hey, I want to work with you, I want some coaching, website templates and all that, MSP Heroes. And then we have a ton of resources. There's literally and nearly endless. There's vendor perks that are completely free available for you right now. But if you're like, hey, I just want some free resources, I want to learn more, we have SEO toolkits, we have free battle cards, acronym cheat sheets, a guide on how to land your first client step by step. If you'd like to learn any of this, head over to growth-generators.com/resources. And hey, maybe you want to come hang out with us in the Discord. You can go check out the Discord. It's under resources, and you can click on Discord there. And it's completely free. There's no catch. You can jump in there and hang out with some amazing people. So let's talk about why 24/7 matters. Because this is something that I hear people say, well, I couldn't possibly offer 24/7. And don't get me wrong, I don't expect you to walk around everywhere with a laptop under your arm or in a backpack and your phone, although I'm sure you already are, but your phone glued to your pocket and ready for that moment that things actually happen. That's all good. But here's the thing, you don't have to actually do that. But kind of. All right, hear me out. 24/7 support is really, really important if you plan on actually offering it. Now, in the vast majority of customers, the likelihood of a 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or 4 a.m. emergency, 4 a.m. emergency is fairly low. Truth be told, I was in the MSP world for a long time, and even as many conversations as I had with many of you, a midnight, a 1, 2, 3 a.m. ticket rarely, if ever, actually comes in. But here's the thing. It's a nice way to sell because you can immediately differentiate yourself from everybody else around you. Now, that might mean, hey, you have calls forwarded to your cell phone, or hey, is this an emergency? One of my favorite things I hear is, if this is an emergency, press 3, and it immediately rings everybody's phone in the company so that way somebody can actually get to it. But it does give you a competitive advantage. There are a ton of customers that truly would like to have somebody who is available at the drop of a hat. And that can be the thing that gets you over that sales hump. That's the best part about it. And it does lead to higher retention. It is not uncommon, although I'm sure if you're watching this, you're either a very early morning person or a night owl, probably leaning towards the night owl side, but it does help with customer retention. Customers love, think of how many things that we buy on a regular basis that we may never use. Hint, hint, insurance, right? Obviously, I know we all need that, but there's plenty of things that we buy. Oh, this guarantee, this, right? I have business grade internet in my office. It's already been down a handful of times since I've been here. Okay, it's fine. It is what it is. It's not a major inconvenience. It'll go down for a couple minutes in the middle of the day randomly for whatever reason AT&T decides to bring it down for. I don't know what their guarantee is, but we do buy a lot of things with that guarantee or with that warranty that gives us that peace of mind. It's the exact same experience, actually, when you have a customer. That's the most interesting part about it, is that customer then believes that, hey, I have the ability. It doesn't mean I'm going to use it, but I have the ability to use 24/7 support. So there's a couple different ways to actually go provide 24/7 support. And first, you're probably thinking, well, I'm 24/7 support. And in that case, you are correct. You are 24/7 support. Kind of. You do need to sleep, but you can have it you could have it forward over to your phone, and that's totally fine as well. The nice part about you doing it, or we'll call it in-house, right? Because you might have a team that can help you with that as well. You have full control. You can oversee everything. If you're the one doing the work, obviously you have the most control. And if you have a team of people, you have full control over them. And hey, this is what I want to actually happen. It also helps with massively consistent quality of work. Hey, in most cases, the likelihood of a breach happening at 4 a.m. is pretty darn low. Usually it's somebody can't print to a printer, the computer's not connecting to a remote desktop. There's always a million things, in which case most of those things can be handled in the morning or can be had a ticket or a voicemail left. But the cons of offering 24/7 is, truthfully, it can be a bit expensive. Now, you might be thinking, well, if I do it, it's not expensive. I'm sorry, I forgot that you're not human and you don't need to sleep. You do need to sleep, right? There's also the staffing challenges that come with it, the risk of burning out. There are some cons with it. Now, you can have, if you're a 2 or 3 person team, hey, it's going to ring everybody. The first person that gets to it, everybody else can go to bed unless they call for an emergency. In most cases, the vast majority of late night tickets are going to be, hey, this is not working. Boom, you bang it out and you're done with it. That's the nice part. Then there's also we'll call it the follow the sun model, right? And that's where, depending on where you are, as the sun moves through each geographic location, right, you can split it across time zones. One of the things that I've heard tons of companies doing is if you're on the East Coast, they actually hire people on the West Coast because they work about 3 hours later. And then they bump back their time. So if they are normally a 9 to 5, right, 5 o'clock is actually 8 o'clock Eastern. They might do a 12 to 8 o'clock on the West Coast time. So then that 8 becomes 11 p.m. on the East Coast time. This is where it's split kind of between time zones. And even if you're in California, hey, New York gets up 3 hours earlier. So if you can have somebody start at 7 a.m. or even 6 a.m. for the early birds out there, that's literally 3 a.m. your time. So that could actually work, where you hire real people across different time zones, and those people can be 100% remote employees. It's the nice part about having them. They go in and they can do that. This works really good for mid-size MSPs. But you definitely have that drawback of, if you're a smaller MSP and you're only 3 or 4 people, you're probably not hiring somebody 2, 3, 4,000 miles away to provide support because of the time zone changes. And it's really hard to scale this. Now, chances are you probably need one person to put in that ticket, or at least to address the major problem going on, but it's still important to actually have that. Then you have the after hours call rotation, where, hey, so-and-so is in charge on Mondays, so-and-so is in charge on Tuesdays, so-and-so is in charge on Wednesdays, and so on and so forth. If you have a 5-person team, everybody gets a day, and then the weekends, maybe you split it up or whatever it is. This can sometimes cost a little more money because you have to pay people to be on call, which that means that they can't be going enjoying their recreational activities, depending on what those actually are. But it is fairly manageable with a small team. And it is fairly manageable when you get to a bigger team as well, because then you can say, hey, your team, or maybe this section of people, has this week, and maybe it's only once a month, right, to provide that full 24/7 support. And it's a fantastic option for a lot of people. But what's the last option? If you guessed outsourcing, you would be correct. But I'm going to tell you how to outsource efficiently right after you take just one brief second, hit that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So there's outsourcing. Now, this is third-party support. It is a little scary because, back to the first one, you don't have full control. It's the truth, right? It's somebody else's company. You are hiring somebody as an outsource. You could also do an outsource kind of freelancer as well if they're reliable, right? But in most cases, people like to work with companies because companies typically are a bit more reliable. But they can do that. Now, this brings me to one of the partners of this channel. Well, I think I'm an affiliate. I still don't even know if I'm an affiliate, but I do have a discount code if you'd like to check it out. And that is a company called Helped. Now, I know who Helped is. I've had the pleasure of speaking with the people over there. The owners, if you guys want to reach out and let me know if I am or not an affiliate, but I don't particularly care. But this is just one of the companies that you can go and get tech support that can be completely outsourced. This means it's a third-party provider that allows you to do cost-effective work with immediate coverage. They have the hybrid. Now, in the case of Helped, you can go to their pricing, and there is a code. I do know there's a code GG10. I don't know if I get anything in return for that, but you can use code GG10, and it'll give you 10% off whatever they offer here. And you can pick how many minutes if you want. No minutes, 100 minutes, whatever, 1,000 minutes. It doesn't particularly matter of support. But the nice part about that is it's cost effective, right? Because then you don't need to hire somebody full time or even part time and worry about benefits or insurance, which is always a nice thing, but you're basically paying them for coverage, that full 24/7 coverage. And you can work it out with them on however, if they handle certain support calls or they don't handle certain support calls, or maybe it's overnight calls, however it is that you want to work it. But that's the nice part about it. It now allows you to go full 24/7 and offer that to your customers. Now you're probably thinking, well, Harrison, why would you mention that on a video? The reason I mention that on the video is because I want you as a viewer of this channel to succeed more with your sales. I truly want you to make more money in your MSP. This is how you do it. So many people have asked me, and now MSP Heroes have known about this for a long time, and I haven't made a video on it. I said, you know what? Maybe I'll make a video on it finally. But if you need or you think that having that 24/7 advantage is important, this is the secret in how to do it. Once again, this is great for MSPs of all sizes, but specifically those smaller ones where you're already working 50, 60, 70 hours. And some of you are probably scoffing in that. You're probably working 100-hour weeks like a crazy person, and that's totally fine. But at some point or another, somebody has to go to sleep. Somebody's going to get sick. Somebody's going to get tired, or somebody just wants PTO and to take the PTO. That's where this can actually come in. You have to figure out what works best for you. If it's an in-house team, if it's kind of that person across the country, the follow the sun model or follow the time zone model, you have the after hours support that you can dedicate one person. Or maybe, hey, you're the business owner and you're like, I am ready to stake my claim at being available whenever. And if you don't drink or party on the weekends, more power to you, because hey, you could be available for those calls. Like I said, the vast majority of calls are not going to be anything crazy. It's, hey, my computer's not working, my printer's not working, I can't connect, whatever it may be. If they're working at 4 o'clock in the morning, at least in my experience, it is rarely mission critical, unless you're in a certain industry. For example, we'll call it healthcare, where they might need to absolutely transfer those documents into a hospital or whatever it is. However they decide to operate, that's up to them. Unless you're in that space, more often than not, even just having that backbone of saying we can offer 24/7 and have it forward over to your cell phone is absolutely worth it. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about some tools that can also help you make it worth it. Your RMM tool is absolutely going to be vital. Your PSA tool is also absolutely going to be vital. The reason these are vital is because you want an alert to escalate certain workflows. Depending on how a ticket comes in, or if it's an employee that takes the call, how do they put in the ticket? Is it an emergency or is it not an emergency? If it's not, great. If it is, how do we want to be alerted by this? Do we want to let the whole team know? Is there certain people that we want to get alerted? But the most important part is the communication with the team. If you're a team of one, you don't really need to communicate with somebody. But if you're more than one person, you have to have fantastic communication across the board. Now, I'm not going to just leave you with this, because I think there's still a lot of gravy left on the table here. And I've put some notes down on my computer of just some best practices that would allow you to absolutely crush 24/7, right? First is start documenting. If you are somebody that is lackadaisical in documenting your standard operating procedures, the process that you go through here, to get to success, this is your wake-up call. It is your time to start documenting it. The more information, almost the more better. I get it. Things are going to change in interfaces and between Windows 10 and Windows 11. Things are going to be moving, but trust me, start documenting, especially the way that you as the business owner want it. That's really, really important. The second part of this is you have to figure out what you want to happen after somebody takes a ticket. What do we classify as an emergency versus non-emergency? If it's an emergency, maybe there's levels of emergencies. I was a fireman for a long time and an EMT. We call it triaging. Are they okay? Is it, I think it used to be in pardon me if I'm mildly incorrect, I'm sure everybody does it a little different. You'd have colors, right? Red would be very bad, yellow would be okay, green is good with minor injuries, right? If it's red, how bad is it? Surely if it's red, it should be something that's taken care of, but that would be what we used to do. It's triaging those tickets. And what happens after those? Next is training. I think that there's something crazy going on with the amount of people not getting trained in the MSP world. I said what I said, and I think the training could absolutely be better. On something like this, training is important. I just had a great experience with my foster child the other day, and we were talking about walkie-talkies and having that walkie-talkie and communicating successfully using that walkie-talkie, right? We had to go through training in the fire department for that. It's the exact same thing. You have to train on something as simple as how to use a radio. That is the actual process. And last but not least, set boundaries. You have to set some kind of boundaries with your customers of what is and what is not an emergency. You have to train your staff and you have to train your customers. This is how you now begin to offer 24/7, 365 support. Take a few holidays off. You're probably not getting a ticket on Christmas. You're not getting a ticket on Christmas Eve, but there are plenty of holidays that people do decide to actually work. Don't be surprised when somebody puts in a ticket. I love working. It is not uncommon for me to hit up my team, for me to send out emails at every hour of the day on on all holidays. I like looking at things, I like playing with things, I like touching things, and I like to, hey, if I can get ahead of something, I will do that. I take massive pride in the speed in which growth generators can get things done, and you should be doing the same. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. I love the heck out of you guys as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one.